In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to work with Quick Selection Tool. When I'm saying Quick Selection Tool, I mean two tools, which is Quick Selection Tool and Magic Wand Tool. They are very similar, but there are some differences between them, so I'm going to show you these differences and how to work with them. The first thing I have to tell you before we start working with Quick Selection Tool, that Quick Selection Tool works the best on a simple background. If you have a bit more complicated image, Quick Selection Tool might bring you some of the troubles. So that's the thing you need to notice. If you have image like this, it's perfect. If you have image like this on the white background, it's really perfect once again. If you have image like this, which is complicated, this won't be so easy for you. And I'm going to show you these differences. As you can see, I have already selected Quick Selection Tool. On the top, I have few options. It's New Selection, it's Add to the Selection, and we can take off the selection with the last one with this little minus. I'm going to start with a new selection. We can choose the size of our tool as well. And as the name says, it's Quick Selection. So let's have a look. I want to select the object. So I'm going to just paint on it. And as you can see, it's selecting the image. You can also see my Photoshop is lagging a little bit, and what is really perfect for it, as you can see, the reason why I said about simple background, because it can really nicely refine your edges. As you can see, it won't be so easy on the ear because it's very similar to the background, but still I can see it works not bad. Let's zoom this a little bit more to make sure we do everything fine. So okay, we didn't do so great over here, and also on the ear. If you do some of the mistake, as I did over here, you can choose this -1 to take off the wrong selection you made and to fix the area. As you can see, I'm hardly trying to do this. Once again, okay, I'm taking this off and now it looks a bit better. So for example, now I just want to copy this. However, the thing you have to know, and it's very important, many people skip this, we don't have this really perfect on the edges. So hit select and refine edge. Remember, when you do a selection and your object is important and has fuzzy edges, it's great to fix this using this tool. And it already looks a bit better, a bit over here and also a bit over here. It's not too much. Try to avoid the areas you don't need to fix, and after all, just hit OK. And I notice I didn't do a selection over here. I'm just going to fix this quickly. And okay, for example, I'm going to hit right, layer via copy, and I copied my object. Right now I can set up the background I really want. I decided I want to have similar background than my previous one, and what I have to say, I recommend you to use always similar background to the original ones. It always look a bit better. The background is there for a reason. So that's how you can do the basic selection tool. As you can see, I missed the edge over here. I could fix this using refine edge, but as you can see, this tool works really great if you want to do this. I'm going to do a step back to show you the example of Magic Wand Tool. Magic Wand Tool select all of the areas at once, and it helps to be even quicker, I could say. You can set a tolerance. If you're going to set up the tolerance very small, as you can see, the Magic Wand Tool is not going to select big area, and it actually works way different than Quick Selection Tool. It's not so precise, but it's really great if you have just one object you need to cut, for example. I'm sorry. So I'm going to make the tolerance a bit bigger. Have a look right now, and we're making a bigger selection, as you can see. It's really nice if you need to have selected one object, but if I have to be honest with you right now, I don't think this is really useful tool. So don't do a selection of the person using quick selection tool, because the thing is, you're not going to do this right probably. Even though I'm going to put tolerance very high, and you can actually notice that it's difficult to set this up in the right way to do really nice selection. As you can see, it keeps all of the edges on the glass and everywhere to make the selection. It could work if we would have just simple object, one color over here, it would make the perfect selection. If you have more than one color, it's not going to work for you. So that's about differences between Magic Wand tool and Quick Selection tool. Also, this model would be very simple, similar example as the previous one, to do a selection using Quick Selection tool. As you can see, we could have a bit more troubles on the hair, but also it works really great if we want to cut out something. Maybe I'm not going to work with this right now, because it's going to take some time, but selection works really great for it. The problem is, for example, when you have much more color on the image and you want to cut this out. When you use even such a maybe great tool as Quick Selection tool, as you can see in the areas, the edges are really nicely defined, you won't have troubles. But when you go to the areas that you have a bit more colors, it actually starts to bring in some troubles. As you can notice, it's difficult to make a right selection over here. When we have a lot of edges, when we have a lot of green colors, it's still working well, but it's a bit of problematic, because as you can see, the edges are not really great, so we would have to skip between add selection and take off the selection. As you can see, it takes a lot of time as well, and it becomes not a quick selection when we have such an image like this one. So the things that are very important to notice when you use Quick Selection tool, when you have a simple object with simple background, it's going to work really great for you. If you have complicated image, your selection is not going to look well. I see many images and examples of bad work when people always use Quick Selection tool to do their selection no matter what they do. And you probably have seen a lot of images that you can easily say it was photoshopped because of the fact of really bad edges of some objects of the image. The reason why it looks like this is because of bad selections. So in next lesson, I'm going to show you a really amazing tool that's going to allow you to make perfect selections